Hi everyone and welcome back. So in this video we are going to talk about important topic which is React 19 incoming features. So React 19 already has published like what all features are going to be added in React. And as you know that React is evolving with each and every version. So there are a lot of optimizations and whatever the features which I have seen till now from React 19, from different blogs and from the React website, they are really very exciting and they are going to help developers in doing a lot of things, and it is actually resolving lots of pain points. So let's take a look on all those topics. In the last video we have already talked about React compiler, like how it had changed the whole compilation and whole optimization and memorization in React components. So in the last video we have already seen that this is how we are writing React 18, where we are using use memo, use callback, use memo to memonize, use callback to optimize, re-render optimization, right? But React 19, what are the incoming changes? That React 19 is going to do all those kind of optimization, file rendering and memorization changes by itself. So this is what you will do in the React 19. Whatever the expensive calculation you are doing with use memo, you don't need to do it that way. And you don't need to use callback, because reactjs internally will do all the memorization. React will compile the whole code and it will check which code needs memorization and where it needs to use callback, react.memo, react.useMemo. All those things are applied automatically. So this is the first biggest change with the latest React compiler. Now the second biggest change which we see is with the use hook. So React is providing this use hook which you can use at anywhere. Like I want to do some asynchronous execution, like I have a promise and I need to wait until that promise is resolved, right? So you can just use hook and it will give you the plain data, whatever the data is getting resolved from that promise, and you can just print that data, right? So that is use hook. Another use case of this use hook is shown in this example. Here we are doing a promise, like this is how we do the fetch, and at the second line, like here we mostly do await, fetch, and then we try to resolve this promise, right? This is how we do it. And in the second line we await response.json. Let's say if I do it, and in the second line you again get the data something like this, equal to await, you serialize that just json and you get response like this. But now with this use hook, I mean fetch, this is currently representing a promise, and you can just use hook. That will give you the flat data coming from this particular promise, and you can just do conditionally render, because user is not just a promise. Now users is representing the actual data which is coming from this particular API, right? So now you can see how you can write asynchronous code in line with your code. You don't need to use effect hook. Otherwise what you will be doing, you might be using use effect hook and getting the data, and then you might be just doing some kind of a state management here, like data set data, and here you might be doing something like use state, this is empty array, and inside a use effect you will be making this asynchronous execution and setting. Once you got the data, you will be doing set data equal to the data which you receive from the async call, right? So you can just make here is like await, sorry, here you just fetch data, and then you just write a simple function. You will be doing lots of things, right? Here you will be writing this code of getting data, and this is, I mean this would be a sync function. Or maybe simply const fetch data equal to something like this. I'm not putting the whole code here, but this is then await response.json, and you will be returning the data. Fetch data we will get, const data is coming from this, and set data something like this. Now you don't need to do any of it, right? we can just use this use promise, use hook, and that will give us the data we need. So this is, I will say that this is really very powerful and very helpful for developers. And this use hook seamlessly getting integrated here. If you see, this is the React 18 feature suspense and fallback. And for the child component to fetch the asynchronous data from some API call, it was very tricky to get it work with suspense. But now this is very much simplified, because now you are using React internal hook use. So the suspense will know, okay, when the promise is resolved, when the promise is rejected, and when you have received the data. So once the data is received, this fallback will render this particular component. So this is the advantage of using use hook, that you don't need to do any rocket science inside the my component to let the suspense callback know that, okay, data is being fetched, or data has been received, or there is an error while fetching the data. Another important change which we will see is the reference. This is how we used to pass the reference using forward reference in the functional component. This is the fancy component. Here I'm rendering the fancy component from the app component, and I'm passing the button reference. So in React 18 world, if you are passing the reference, then I have to use forward reference to receive the reference as a props. Okay, this is like a typical way of passing the reference as a props and receiving that reference in the child component. But with the latest changes, you won't be doing something like this. You can just pass this as a prop in my input component, and this my input component would be able to get the reference without using forward reference and all these things which we are using. Okay, so you can just get the reference without using forward reference like any other props which you are passing to the child component. This is another enhancement, you can say, with the context. This is how we create a context. And if I want to extract the data from the context, you can just simply do use context, and you just pass the context. That should be able to provide you the data. So here we are, sorry for the correction, here we are using use hook, not use context. So the use hook can be just used to get the data. So here we are just using use. So if you want to read the data from the one context, you can just use hook, and you can write a conditional operator or anything, and this context will give you the data. So this is just like adding a flexibility on top of the context APIs. So we were using use context to get the data. Similar to that, now we can just use this use hook. This use hook can read the values from context. Okay, so these are some of the changes. There are a lot more I will be covering as soon as we will see lots of things. But now it's time to start talking about Nextjs. So these are all the React latest features I wanted to cover before I start diving into the Nextjs. So we'll start talking about the page-based component using page router and the app-based component using app router. Let's dive into the Nextjs now.